Okay, let's set the scene. It's August 2nd, 2025. You're at the Oval in London.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere, well, it's absolutely electric. You can feel the tension, you know?
It's palpable.
Exactly. It's the fifth and final test, the Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy. England are leading the series 2-1, so this is crunch time for India. They have to level it here.
Okay, massive stakes.
And we're at the start of day 3. Now, this particular day, turned out to be absolutely pivotal, more than just runs and wickets. It was about this incredible shift in momentum.
Yeah, and that's what we really want to unpack today. How India, starting day 3 in a slightly precarious spot, just completely dominated that first session. It wasn't just solid cricket. It was surprisingly commanding.
It really was. So our mission for you today is basically to give you the inside track on that day. We'll break down the key moments, the standout players, including some real surprises, and the strategy behind it all.
So you get a proper sense of how India wrestled back control and put themselves in such a strong position in this crucial test.
All right, let's dive in. The Oval, London, August 2nd. As we said, England's up 2-1.
Yep.
India's start today 75 for 2. Now, Yashasvi Jaiswal, he's already looking good, unbeaten on 51, the young star.
Looking very comfortable.
But at the other end, you've got Akash Deep, the designated night watchman. He's on 4 not out. India's lead is only 52 runs at this point. England made 247, India 224 in the first innings. So it feels delicate.
Very delicate. I mean, that morning session felt like it could decide the whole match, maybe even the series. Usually with a night watchman in the bowling side thinks, right, let's get him early, expose the proper batsman to the new-ish ball.
That's the textbook plan, isn't it? Survive, defend, protect the main batters.
Exactly. It's supposed to be a defensive job, but what happened that morning just completely flipped that script on its head. It was something else.
Okay, so let's talk about Akash Deep, because honestly, this is where the story just takes off. He's primarily a bowler. Remember, you expect him to maybe see off a few overs, hang around.
Maybe block a bit, yeah.
But he didn't just hang around. He attacked. He went on to score his first ever Test 50. Can you believe it? 66 runs he made off just 94 balls.
It was stunning. Absolutely stunning. And 12 fours in that innings, he wasn't just nudging it around. He was properly hitting boundaries, finding the gaps with, like, real ease.
The surprise factor must have been huge for England.
Oh, massive. And historically, it's significant, too. He became only the second Indian ever to score 50 as a night watchman at the Oval. Amit Mishra did it way back in 2011, made 84.
Wow, I remember that.
So Deep joining that very small club, it wasn't just bonus runs. It completely knocked England off their stride. They wanted him out quick, bring in the next batsman. Instead, they're facing this counterattack from the night watchman.
It forced them to change their plans, didn't it? Change bowlers, change fields.
Yeah, they burned through overs from their main bowlers trying to get him out, and he just kept going. It must have been incredibly frustrating for them. And, it kind of unsettled their whole morning session.
You almost felt sorry for the specialist batsman waiting, thinking, he's making this look easy.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant application, taking the opportunity.
Absolutely. A real statement.
And while Deep is doing this, at the other end, Yashasvi Jaiswal, the 23-year-old, he's just carrying on being Yashasvi Jaiswal. Aggressive, positive, finding the boundary almost at will.
He looked totally unfazed, just kept the scoreboard ticking over, moving into the 60s, then the 70s. Very composed, very fluent.
And together they put on this fantastic partnership, 107 runs for the third wicket. That was the partnership that really took the game away from England in that session.
It really was. It took India past 100, then cruised past 150. Psychologically, that's huge. It builds pressure on the fielding side. And, well, we should mention England didn't exactly help themselves in the field either.
Oh, definitely not. How many drop catches were there? 4, I think.
At least 4, yeah. Some not particularly difficult chances either. That just added to India's momentum and, compounded England's misery. Every dropped catch felt like another nail in the coffin for that session.
You could practically hear the sighs from the crowd, the English fans anyway. It was sloppy. But India, they didn't care. They just cashed in.
Ruthlessly.
So by the time lunch arrived, India were sitting very pretty indeed. 189 for 3. The lead was now a very healthy 166 runs.
A really commanding position. Deep did get out just before lunch, actually. Jamie Overton finally got him caught for that brilliant 66, but the damage, it was well and truly done by then.
Yeah, a small wicket for England, but India had completely bossed that session. The momentum was entirely with them heading into the afternoon.
Definitely. It felt like a decisive shift. And the question hanging in the air during lunch was, could India just hammer home this advantage now? Could they bat England right out of the contest?
Well, they certainly tried. Straight after lunch, there was a little bit of hope for England. Shubman Gill went relatively cheaply, LBW to Gus Atkinson for 11.
A brief moment, yeah.
But then Jaiswal. Wow. He just put his foot down again, absolutely dominated.
Yeah.
And the highlight, of course, was him reaching his century, his 6th in Test cricket.
And how did he get there?
With a 6. Just launched it. Off only 127 balls. The crowd went wild. It was just pure Jaiswal, aggressive, confident, entertaining.
That's his style, isn't it? He doesn't just accumulate. He dictates terms. Puts the bowlers under immediate pressure.
Exactly. And that innings, that century, really cemented India's position. It felt like they were setting up a target that would be incredibly difficult, maybe impossible for England to chase in the 4th innings.
You really felt England were being batted out of the game at that point. Jaiswal's form throughout this series, and especially on this day, has been exceptional. Like you said, fine wine, getting better, leaving England's bowlers with a bit of a headache, I think.
A definite hangover. And let's circle back to Akash Deep for a second. The 27-year-old, making his debut in this series. That 50 wasn't just a fluke, was it? It showed real character, real fight.
Absolutely. He's impressed with the ball too, but this inning showed another dimension. An all-round potential, maybe? It suggests he's got a really good temperament for Test cricket, thrives under pressure.
Yeah, a fantastic find for India. Now, Shubman Gill, the captain, didn't get big runs in this innings, and it's been a bit of an up-and-down series for him with the bat.
True. Consistency has been a slight issue.
But his captaincy, especially leading a relatively young side in England, has drawn a lot of praise. He's kept them calm, focused, showed real maturity.
Yeah, leadership isn't just about runs. It's about how you manage the team, the pressure, keep morale high. And by all accounts, he's done that very well, especially considering the injuries and challenges they've faced.
Definitely. And we should also mention Karun Nair. Got that important 50 in the 1st innings, played a supporting role in the 2nd, just shows the depth they have, different players stepping up.
Exactly. It hasn't just been one or two guys carrying the load. Okay, so let's think tactically for a moment. India's approach on day 3 was crystal clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, attack, capitalize on what looked like pretty good batting conditions early on.
Right. And Jaiswal's form was key, obviously. But Deep's innings, that unexpected blitz, completely threw England's plans into disarray.
And England had their own issues, too. Missing key players, right? Stokes, obviously, but Wokes got injured on day 1 as well.
Huge losses. That put a lot of pressure on their bowling attack. Atkinson, Tongue, Overton, decent bowlers, but perhaps lacking that cutting edge or maybe the consistency needed against this Indian lineup.
Yeah, they seem to leak runs. Too many boundary balls, perhaps. Not enough sustained pressure.
I think that's fair. A lack of discipline at times. They couldn't string together enough dot balls, couldn't build that pressure cooker atmosphere that you need in Test cricket. India were able to rotate the strike too easily.
And looking ahead to England's 2nd innings, India's bowlers must be licking their lips. Siraj and Prasidh Krishna both took 4 wickets in the 1st innings.
They bowled really well.
And you'd back them to cause problems again, especially if the pitch starts to offer anything, maybe some reverse swing later on.
Definitely. Even if it flattens out, disciplined bowling can be very hard to score against. India's attack has pace, accuracy, and variation. It's going to be a massive challenge for England.
Now, you mentioned earlier the Oval's history with India. It's not exactly been a happy hunting ground historically, has it?
No, not really. It's an iconic venue, Test cricket since 1845, but India's record there is, well, modest. Before this match, only 2 wins in 15 tests, back in '71 and more recently in 2021.
Compared to 6 losses and 7 draws. So historically, it's been tough for them.
Yeah, it's often been a place where tours have ended in disappointment for India. Maybe it's the conditions, the slope, the atmosphere, who knows. But they haven't consistently performed well there over the decades.
So this performance, this dominance on day 3 under Gill's captaincy, could this be like a turning point, a sign that they're breaking that historical Oval jinx?
It certainly feels significant in that context. To play with such authority, particularly given that backdrop, suggests a new level of confidence, perhaps, a belief that they can dominate anywhere, regardless of past records. It could be a real statement about this Indian team's mentality.
And you could feel that sense of something special brewing, couldn't you? Even from their reactions off the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The BCCI, the Indian board, they tweeted straight away about Akash Deep's 50, called it a valuable contribution and a knock to remember. Captures that sense of surprise and pride.
Yeah, and social media just went nuts, didn't it? Everyone was talking about Akash Deep.
Oh, yeah. Akash Deep on Fire was trending. People just loved the unexpectedness of it. The sheer audacity of a night watchman playing like that in such a crucial game, it really captured the imagination.
It's what makes Test cricket so compelling, isn't it? Those unpredictable moments.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's just quickly pull the threads together from day 3. The main takeaway have to be India's strategic grip on the game, fueled by some really outstanding individual performances.
Especially those unexpected heroics from Akash Deep. Alongside Jaiswal's consistent brilliance, that partnership was key.
Absolutely. They took a game that was quite finely balanced at the start of the day and just stamped their authority all over it, ending up in a position of almost complete control.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe, something for you to chew on. How much do these individual, almost rogue moments, like a night watchman hitting a crucial 50, actually shape the overall narrative of a series?
That's interesting. It's not always the big names, is it?
Not always. Sometimes it's these unexpected contributions that completely change the momentum, the psychology of the contest. They force the opposition to rethink everything. And thinking specifically about this match at the Oval, what does this dominant display tell us about, the bigger picture between India and England at these historic grounds?
Right. Is India truly shaking off some of those historical struggles away from home? Are they building a new legacy at places like the Oval? Or was day 3 just one of those perfect storms, a fantastic day where everything clicked?
It definitely feels like the dynamic is shifting, but how deep does that shift run? That's something we'll only find out as this fascinating rivalry continues.